Hello, Rosie here with a story from my life and an invitation for you. Maybe a few stories that are all kind of connected. So, as you know, this is a big time. Holidays are coming up. It's a big gift giving time, and so it just got me starting to think about gift giving and what my relationship is to gifts in general. And this is going to be very meandering. I have no idea where I'm going to go with this, but anyway, bear with me. Anyway, so I was thinking about how our parents give us gifts and the people that we love give us gifts. And some of the gifts that we receive are the intentional kind. Like they're really wanting to give us a gift. It's the kind of gift that's easy to receive. It feels good. There's that kind of gift. And then there's the other kind of gift, which is maybe not so comfortable. Maybe it's not intentionally given to you, but it's the gift of a learning experience, right? So anyway, I was just kind of trying to merge these two thoughts about like, what's my relationship to gifts? What did my parents teach me? What did I grow up learning about gift giving and gift receiving? And what was the intentional great gift that I received? And then what was the harder gift or the gift that I received that kind of catapulted me on a learning process, a self-growth process? So, okay, so now here we go. So one of the things that I think I got from my parents that I really appreciate, and I especially appreciate now during this time of year when it starts to get really intense, especially in the Western civilized world where we so much are taught that that our love can be measured by the objects that we give to another person, that we buy and give to another person. So the thing that I really appreciate about my parents is that they didn't really raise me in a very pressured environment when it comes to the material realm, which was not an easy thing because I grew up in a relatively affluent suburban city in the Chicago area. There were lots of families celebrating the holidays to the 9th or 10th or whatever that expression is, and gifts were flying back and forth, and one person was topping the next one with an even more expensive, exciting thing, and my parents just said, that's not really what it's about for us. I didn't grow up in a Christian family. I grew up in a Jewish family. My parents were very solidly identified, mostly in a cultural way, very much loved to observe the customs, but they adapted it to the modern times. And for my mom especially, her Judaism was kind of the way in which she expressed and experienced her sense of social responsibility. So that was always a piece whenever we celebrated the holidays. It was really about how can we use this as a portal to caring more about the world. And so when it came to celebrating Hanukkah, it was never about the presents. It was just, there were no presents. It really wasn't about that. It's the same with our birthdays. It wasn't about the present. It was about what experience would you like. We'll give you a party, or maybe you want to go on it. Maybe we can go on a trip together as a family, or maybe we'll even pitch in to get the roof put on top of the house. But it was never about the gifts. So our big Hanukkah parties, we'd have lots of family members coming over, and everybody would bring really funny things from their house that they've had before, and we're going to throw it away, and they pack it up really nice, and then we would make this really big elephant. Every year it would have a different theme, and people would put all the presents, all of the funny presents in the elephant, and then we would take turns picking them out and opening them up in front of everybody, and everybody would laugh, and it would be like a really fun, light experience that was not about the material exchange. And even though there were tinges at times of jealousy and envy for the other kids who, got a car or a stereo or a new bike or something like that, I think I always kind of resonated with my parents along this line. I really received it as a gift. And as I grew up, I felt it even more as a gift for the most part, because I don't really associate the material world with love in that particular way. I feel like I can give and receive outside of that context and feel like the exchange is actually happening, if that makes any sense. There's something about that I really appreciate. And I also don't feel so pressured. I just never got on that gift-giving train. And so I know a lot of my friends who are just really stressed out, almost to the point of trauma when the holidays come, because they feel so much pressure to get just the right gift for all these different people. There's all this expectation. It feels to them like their love somehow is being tested. And I feel free of that. And I will always be grateful to my parents for not really kind of heavily putting that kind of pressure on me. So that was like the intentional gift that I got from my parents that I felt aligned with and was easy to receive. Now the other piece, like the flip side or the shadow side of what I received, whether or not it was what they meant to give or not, really doesn't matter. It was sort of this feeling like there was a little bit of guilt in the receiving that I kind of got transmitted. It was sort of like if there was something that I really wanted, the question was always, well, would you really need it? There might be other people who need it more than you. Maybe there's something else that we could get that is a little bit more practical. Or maybe you're spoiled for wanting something like that. You know, a little bit of that kind of a message. Like, to be a good person, you need to be kind of selfless. It's not about receiving, it's about giving, and it's so much not about the material that sometimes it was really hard for me to even like want things or to feel okay when I received things and not to feel guilty in some way, right? So that was sort of the other piece. The unintentional gift was sort of the beginning of my lifelong process of learning to feel worthy, you know, and that it's okay to have a desire, and it's okay to actually ask for something that you want, even if it's not practical, and it's okay to receive something that's material, and it doesn't make me a bad person, and it's okay to have needs. I mean, it translates into much deeper places, but we don't have to go there. Okay, so these are sort of the two gifts, the intentional gift, which is like just to let go of the whole material world, and it's really not about that, not substituting stuff for love. I think I really like got that, you know, ingrained very early on, which I'm really appreciative of. And then there was the less intentional gift, which kind of started my journey of learning that it's, you know, I'm a worthy person and it's okay to receive. It's actually okay to receive. It doesn't make me selfish. It doesn't make me bad. It doesn't make me like a horrible person if I actually want something, you know. So anyway, I wanted to share a couple of stories in each of those categories and extend invitations to you in these areas. Okay. So this is something that happened to me a really long time ago. I was living in Denmark at the time. I was probably in my early 20s. Somehow we still got Oprah over there. I don't know how we managed to do that, but it was during the time that the whole concept of random acts of kindness was very, very popular. It was just starting to get popular anyway. And I just loved it. I mean, it totally resonated with me. So I decided, okay, today I'm just going to go out and I'm going to do some kind of random act of kindness. And so I went to this flower shop and I was just browsing around, and I noticed this woman who was eyeing this bouquet, and she didn't feel that she could afford it, and she was talking to her husband about it, and they're like, oh, we probably can't do that. But anyway, I had this feeling, oh, I'm just going to buy that for them. You know? So I walked over to her and I said, you sounds like you really like that bouquet. And she said, yeah, we do, but it's just too expensive. And I said, well, I'd like to buy it for you. And she just it was the weirdest thing. Like, she went from being really open and kind of friendly to being just completely shut down and suspicious. And like, oh no, why would you want to do that? Just kind of like, who the hell are you that you would want to do that? And I said, no, I'm just in a mood where I just feel like giving something to someone today, and I could see that you really love that bouquet, and I've got the money, and I'd really just love to buy it for you. She would not receive it, not at all. And in that moment, it was such a beautiful kind of symbol of what happens when we shut down our hearts. This is more that unintentional gift that I got, to feeling worthy. And in a way, what happens when we don't allow ourselves to receive, how in a way we really reject the other person. Because here I was feeling so much pleasure in the giving, and she was depriving me of that by not feeling worthy of the gift. So I guess I want to invite you in relation to this part of the story to maybe go out and do a random act of kindness and see how good it feels to actually give for no reason, expecting nothing in return, and just let yourself have that experience. And the other thing that's connected to that is to see the next time that someone offers something to you or gives something to you, see how gracious and open and receptive you can be in relation to that gift. Just take it in. Just, oh, I so deserve this, and I'm so happy, and I'm so worthy, and thank you so much. And just see how that experience, that exchange, just kind of lifts the vibration up between the both of you, and how that really can impact your whole day. I don't know if you've ever been on the Bay Bridge or a bridge and you've got to pay a toll, and then the person in front of you just pays for you. That's happened to me once or twice, and it's just it totally makes my day. And when it makes my day, when I let it make my day and I don't push it away, I actually have a really much better impact on the person who's done the giving. So that's like one little invitation I have for you. And then the other one is this really cool little thing that was introduced to me by a parent at my daughter's school in Berkeley, California. It's a very kind of PC school, very open-minded, diverse. They would never impose one religion on everybody, but they like to celebrate all the ways in which spirit is celebrated. So they invite all the families to kind of just share their different traditions from their different families in a festival of lights. And so one woman, one of the moms, shared this really sweet little ritual that she does with her family, which I just totally loved. And what she did was she just goes around her own house and doesn't find things that they want to get rid of and then wrap it up as a funny gift. It's not like that. But she finds things that they use, things that they use all the time and take for granted. And she wraps them up again. So it's kind of like she would like maybe go to the little art table and take all of the markers and the paper, and she'd rearrange it and wrap it up in a box. And then they would all like sit together and they would open up this aspect of their life that's normally considered mundane, and suddenly it becomes extraordinary. It becomes a gift, and it's like they re-receive their own life, the gift of their life. And I thought that was such a wonderful concept. And I started thinking about, God, what if I did that? Like, what if I wrapped up my husband and reminded myself that he is a gift, because when I get so lost in the everyday and the mundane, I'm like, oh God, him again, right? So what if I just like wrapped him up in a box, put a big fat bow on top of it, and opened it up and thought, this is the man I get to spend my life with. Right? So anyway, I just wanted to extend that invitation to you to just go around your house and look around and see what are the things, who are the people that you take most for granted, and see if you could find a way to wrap them up and maybe put them aside for a couple of, well, you can't do that with your husband, but you know what I'm talking about. Put them aside for a couple of weeks, and then during the holidays, reopen them and experience them with beginner's mind, with beginner's heart. Yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you before I end this little gift sharing video is one of my favorite books called The Gift of Nothing by Patrick McDonnell. Anybody who knows a little kid or just knows an adult that has a kid at heart, this is just a really, really, really sweet book, and I recommend it. And I would read it out loud if I could, but I don't think that's legal. Okay, so that's it for me, my little gift sermon, gift giving, gift receiving sermon. I hope for you that you feel worthy of both giving and receiving, and that you don't get lost in the stuff obsession that our culture seems to have a hard time letting go of. It's not about the stuff, right? Okay, bye.